So, Mr Gasiorek, what do you see a difference between the how your students do in the morning compared to in the afternoon?
Yes, well, it definitely, pupils are much more alert and awake earlier on in the day, and as the day wears on, they definitely become more subdued in terms of their learning. They can be more boisterous in the afternoons, but in terms of their pace of learning, that's often a little bit slower in the afternoons.
So they get higher grades in the morning compared to the afternoon?
I'm not sure that I would say that they get higher grades. I would say that they are more alert, so therefore it's easier for them to master the learning objectives. It's easier for them to stay focused and stay on task. But in terms of whether they actually get higher grades or not, I think that would be very difficult to ascertain.
Okay, and if you perhaps you think that the school curriculum should be shaped around the teenage body clock so that they perform better?
Well, I think that any new innovation is good and it should be taken on board, and I'm aware of the study which says that pupils tend to do better in maths if they have their maths lessons in the morning. I suppose the questions that need to be asked is, does that apply to all ages, all teenagers, or just to certain age groups? I suppose it would also have to be looked at whether that is something that is specific to maths or whether it's specific to other subjects as well. If it transpires that it's true for all subjects, then that would imply that school should start at, say, 6 o'clock in the morning so that we could have all of the lessons before lunchtime and then finish the school day at lunchtime. And I know that certainly in some countries something similar does happen. On the other hand, there are counter studies. There's certainly been one recent study which has shown that teenagers, and particularly teenage boys, do require a lot more sleep when they're going through puberty, and the recommendation of that finding is that schools should actually start at about 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the day so that the teenagers have time in the morning to sleep. And that would obviously be in contradiction with the other findings which say that maths lessons should be only in the morning. I think another possible problem that one would need to look at is staffing. If you had all the maths lessons in the morning, I don't know that that would necessarily fit in terms of the number of periods and the number of teachers that you have, so there would have to be other ways of compensating for that. But certainly I think that it's something that we should look at, yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr Gasiorek.
Thank you very much indeed for asking.